And welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at what we have in the world of politics. As always, that is what we consume best on Good Morning Kenya. And in studio today, I want us to talk about the MCAs. What do they really want and what are some of the demands? They had their Congress and they had a list and draft of resolutions that they had on 3rd of this month at the KICC. The MCAs are demanding for their slot and their recognition in the country. And that is why in studio I have got Francis Wambua, who is a member of County Assembly Kinanie Ward, who is also the chair of Association of Members of County Assembly. Francis, karibu.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Pleasure.
As well as Stanley Karanja, who is Naivasha East member of County Assembly and the Secretary General of the Association of Members of County Assembly. Gentlemen, this is a new association altogether. How did it start? Let me start with you, Francis, as the chair.
I think the Congress and the movement for the MCA started as a result of omission that has been happening to the Kenya MCAs. And also, after also doing an analysis on how devolution has been able to impact on the common mwananchi, we saw that little has been done. So the Congress came about as a result of that analysis. So what we are saying is that devolution has to make sense. Devolution has to help our people. And the only way that can happen is ensuring that the institution that is mandated in ensuring that devolution works, that is the assembly, is empowered and also given the necessary tools to make sure devolution is working. Because if you stifle the MCAs, you are also killing the devolution that was supposed to bring change and revolution in terms of development in the country. Yeah.
You are recognized in the Constitution, 2010 Constitution, 13 years down the line. You're still saying that MCAs are not recognized?
Not at all. It's only in the Constitution, but in the actual sense, MCAs are just seen as just people who are supposed to be there, and also their role has not been given the necessary power and the space to exist and also to execute their mandate. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa Stanley, it's the first time you're coming to KBC. Karibu.
Asante sana.
What is your take?
One, let me say that there was and there has been a problem. Can you imagine 13 years down the line, and yet devolution cannot be felt? Therefore, us, we are trying to come up with a new strategy whereby an MCA will be recognized. If you look at the Constitution of 2010, you look at it critically and analyze and diagnose it well, you will see that the functions and roles of an MCA, after going through an election, and remember, each and every election, we have 6 elective posts. We have that of the president, deputy, we have that of the governor, we have that of the senator, we have that of the women rep, we have that of the member of assembly, and yet we have that of the member of county assembly. If you look at all those elective posts, if you look at the president, he has a kitty to make sure that he takes care of the promises he or she did.
Yes.
Then if you look at the governor, the same. If you look at currently the senator, he has what is called now the Senate Oversight Fund.
Right.
And now if you look at the member of parliament, he has more than 6. He has the CDF, which has a bursary in it. He or she is the person who is in charge of KERA, he is the child of Kura, rural electrification, all those things. Now, come to this person who always is in contact with the mwananchi. He has nothing. That's why we have been asking, is this seat of an MCA cast? What is wrong with it? And that's why we are saying that we need to diagnose, critically analyze what is there in the Constitution, critically look what is there in the Act, the 2012 Act, and then look at the functions of an MCA, both in the Act and in the PFM Act. If you look at all what, and we are going to analyze the functions and roles of an MCA, and then you juxtapose that one with now what an MCA looks like.
Yes.
That is our main issue. And that's why we are saying that earlier there was this issue of CAF, that the County Assembly Forum, that was for it was meant for the speakers. Now we are saying that down the line, there are things that are not going on well. And that's why we are saying devolution has to be felt. It is there in chapter 2, it is there. And then it is there, the MCAs are there in chapter 11, article 185 to 200. Therefore, what we are saying is that the constitution, we must implement the constitution to the letter. Both
and why now, SG? Why now, 13 years later?
You see, what we are saying is this, that if you check at 2013, an MCA was recognized. 2017, it was a court that intervened. 2022, and we are going to show you the details and the data. You will see that an MCA who does the donkey work. Can you imagine that an MCA who is in the county assembly, when the governor is voted, he or she brings in the nominees.
Okay.
It is asked to verify that this one, the criteria and the academic qualification for appointment. The CECs and the COs. We vet. Then if you go there, the person who has vetted, that is, we have created those offices. And then the creator becomes less powerful than the created.
I will come back to that, because that is your role. At the end of the day, oversight in county assemblies and in the general counties. But then let me ask you, Chair, when you look at the entire structure of MCAs as enshrined in the Constitution, you have got a mandate. But it's a voluntary kind of a position that you can decide and say, I'm going to run for a member of parliament position, woman rep, not to speak, or senator, or whichever position. But don't you think this is going to be a burden to the taxpayer?
I want you to look at it at this point. What we are advocating for is not for the MCA. We are looking at the impact of ensuring at empowering the institution of the MCA, not the MCA, the person. So when we talk of having award fund in place, it means that there is a village that has never tasted the fruits of development that is going to benefit, because if you look at the presidency, he normally looks at the country at the top level. If we go down at the county level, the governor also will look at the top level. But the MCA is the lowest unit of devolution. So if the institution is empowered, then it means even the lowest person at the ground is going to get those services.
And where's the missing link?
The missing link is here. And the reason we are insisting that we have to relook and ensure that in terms of MCA's mandate, they are given the power to do this. And you asked why for 13 years devolution is still struggling. There is the role of oversight. And the reason that has not worked is because MCAs are living at the mercies of the governors. So you find, unless you join the praise and worship choir of praising the governors, if you do your oversight role, you are labeled as a rebel at the county level. So what does that mean? It means that the people you represent are denied the opportunity and their right to get development. So since we perform similar roles to the MCA, to the MPs, and they have a kitty that is used to drive development agenda at the constituency level, we are saying the same needs to be replicated at the ward level.
That again, SG, that would look for duplication of roles. What if, just what if, you delete that position of development in your respective wards, and then reverse that role to the members of parliament? You reverse that role, delete it, and then reverse it to the county governors. Because when you look at the county development agenda for different counties, governors have a different role. When you look at members of parliament, they have got CDF at their disposal. When you also have a ward development fund, we'll have duplication of roles.
I think there's somewhere we are not agreeing with one another, because if you look at the role of an MP, there is nowhere the issue of development is mentioned. Their role is legislation, representation, and oversight. the same role which is expected to be performed by an MCA at the county level. So if there has been a mechanism and there's a platform where an MP, and mark you, CDF has done wonders in terms of development. So what we are saying is, what if we devolve these issues of development further? And what we are looking at is ensuring that there is equity. And I've told you there are counties where you can go and some wards have never witnessed what the thing we are calling development. So what we are saying is not that the government needs to add any additional funding. The equitable share that goes to the county government, that is what we are saying as MCAs. There be a law, a legislation that will ensure that 40% of the development budget is allocated equally to each wards and will be supervised, and the MCA will have the mandate of ensuring those funds are implemented. The same way we have a fund manager at the constituency level. That is what we are pushing. So there is no extra funding that we are asking the national government to give.
So where will this money come from? For
instance, every year Machakos has an allocation of around 12 billion.
Yes.
So we are saying out of where around 70% goes to recurrent. So this 30%, which is about 4 billion, that remains, that is what we are asking. For the 40 wards in Machakos, let's have 40% of that 4 billion allocated equally to the respective wards, so that we ensure that in the process of doing the oversight role, there is no single particular ward that is left behind, maybe because their representative is firm on issues of oversight. And that's why devolution
So if I get it right, it means that the allocation given to the counties, that's exactly a bit of that share that MCAs are now advocating for.
Exactly.
Have you raised these issues with your respective governors? SG, come in, please.
Let me first of all say, and I'm seeing my people saying that we use a little bit of Kiswahili so that they understand that. I don't know whether it is
English, if you can.
English, if you can. But we will try to do some little bit of mixing. One is that people are not getting the message as, you are not decoding the message as we intend. Because one, we are saying that the money is there. The money is with the governors. Therefore, what we are saying is that that money that is meant for development should go from 40 to 45%. In Nakuru, for example, we have something similar to a world fund. That now we have 45%. But what normally happens is that that money, it can be rolled over. Because the person who is executing is now the governor, who is the executive, the chief officer, the governor, and that it is in a different department. If at all it is water, it is under the CC and the CU. Therefore, if at all there is a conflict, it will end up being rolled over. Annually, it will be rolled over. Therefore, what we are saying is simple, that we do not want an extra coin from the national government. It is the money that is there, and we are saying, just like the way the CDF is there, then we do something, an equivalent of that one in the world. And that's why we have been saying that an MCA has been discriminated all along. Is that when you have the MP can do the schools, they can do everything, but what about the MCA? He or she went to the same 190, promised the same promises, and yet now he has been rendered to a beggar. That's why we are saying that this one ought to happen, needs to happen.
How do you handle your development projects in your respective
Now,
homes?
that's where an MCA has been a slave. And let me tell you, and I will give you an analysis of how an MCA has been a slave, and the Constitution does not allow and envisage slavery and servitude. What we have is that, look, a governor goes to the electorate during an election.
All right.
Promises. Those promises, after the governor has been elected, we convert the promises to what we call a County Integrated Development Plan, CIDP. Therefore, the promises of the governor are now catered for well in what is called CIDP.
Okay.
It is now from that CIDP, which were the promises of the governor, that annually we get what we call the annual development plan from it. Therefore, the governor now, from the CIDP, the promises, you have now through the assembly. I want to show you how the assembly has become a slave.
Yeah.
After the governor now converts the promises into CIDP, then it is brought to the assembly. The assembly, the member of county assembly, goes out, lobbies the mwananchi, and through public participation and civic education, so that the promises now becomes a plan for the county for 5 years. After that, listen well, so that you understand why we are saying that we are now ceasing to be slaves anymore of an individual or a system or a law. Therefore, what happened is that after those now plans, the CIDP, for 5 years, now you remove what is called the annual development plan.
All right.
That annual development plan is also brought to the assembly. It is from the annual development plan and the strategy paper that now is converted so that now you can now have finances. Remember, devolution was supposed to bring power and resources.
Okay.
So what happened is that the MCA is being used through a system called the assembly of making law, that's the legislation, and then after that, the MCA will be left. The governor has been taken care of through the CIDP, through the annual development plan, and has been catered for through the budget.
SG, at the end of the day, for you to get that World Development Fund that you're looking for, Chair, at the end of the day, you'll have policy, some change in the constitution, or even the... Because for you to get that money from the county, it has to be factored in. You'll have to go back to the county assembly. You have to amend certain laws that will create that World Development Fund. What do you think, Chair?
That is the case. And because, this is what I want you to get.
Yes.
What we are saying as the MCA, we want to move development from being a privilege based on your loyalty to the executive headed by the governor, to a right to the people that we represent. Because what we are having now, even for the counties, what is talking about that there is such an arrangement, it's normally a privilege that you can agree on the project that you are going to have done to the people, and in the process of doing your oversight role, if you step on someone's feet, then those developments are withdrawn as a way of punishing the MCA, which end up affecting the people we represent. So what are we saying? There is a conversation that is ongoing of ensuring that the GAF, the Senate oversight, is enshrined in the law. Yeah. So what we are saying is that as they have that conversation, and you can see the discrimination, because people are talking about the GAF. There is the affirmative fund for the women reps. There is the Senate Oversight Fund. Then the conversation ends there. Why is it difficult for them also to include a ward fund that it doesn't even have to be controlled by the MCA? There can be a fund manager and a proper legislation that ensures development gets to the people. What we are pushing for is to ensure that devolution works. And the only way this is going to work is that if the assembly is independent. And look at the members of parliament. The reason you normally see that they are able to criticize and have an independent opinion is because the fund that they have for development is not tied to the executive, that is the president.
And that is why part of your resolution, the 3rd of May, you had a resolution that you wanted that financial autonomy as members of county assembly.
Well, that's different from the ward fund, and that is also something that is also affecting the oversight role of the members of county assembly. The financial autonomy we're asking for, today for us to be paid our salaries, today for the county assembly to function, we have to make a requisition through the office of the governor, who in turn makes the request to the COB at the national level, at the treasury, then the money comes again through the executive. Then it's channeled to the Nini. And I give you a very simple case. There was a time a certain county had disagreement with the governor. There's a program that he wanted to implement outside the regulation. So it was blocked by that assembly. What happened? For 6 good months, the members of that county assembly went without a pay until they had to go to a court that had to compel the governor to pay. So we are saying because each county assembly has their budget, then and has a clerk who is the chief accounting officer of the county assembly. There is the speaker who is the head of the assembly. Why can't we be granted autonomy to utilize and use our budget without having to being tied to the executive? Let
me just cut you short and take you back to one of the resolutions you had on 3rd of May. One of the resolutions, actually it was resolution number 6. You said that the Kenya Revenue Authority be compelled to revert and refund the 30% tax levied on members' car reimbursement, noting that the fund is automatic privilege and or facilitate fund for the honorable members upon assuming office, get it right, SG, and not a benefit as it has been construed by the authority via the advisory reference.
Okay.
What do you make on that 30% reimbursement?
What we were asking, once you are elected, there is a car reimbursement that comes to the members of county assembly.
Yes.
And how it operates is that once I'm elected, I'm supposed to go and buy a car. Then upon buying the car, I'm supposed to bring a copy of the logbook and evidence of payment that I bought a car, and that has been, the guideline is very clear, the value and the maximum refund that you can get. So at the point of purchasing the car, you are already taxed. So at the point you are making a claim for a refund, it means that you have already spent and you have already paid the necessary tax that is required. So now what is happening and what through SRC, KRA has done through SRC is that at the point now when you are supposed to get the refund and you already spent, each member is entitled to 2.2 million. Car reimbursement. So you have gone, you have already bought the car, but at the point of being refunded, now you are also subject to another 30% taxation. So that is what we are against. And I'll give you a good scenario. Let's now you are a staff with the KBC. If you go to Mombasa and you spend during your stay there on an assignment, and you bring the receipts and everything,
you'll be reimbursed and that money will still be taxed.
No, it's not normally taxed because you have already spent and all the necessary tax have already been recovered. You have already used the money. So you are asking to be refunded what you have already spent, and what you have spent, if it's subject to any tax, it is all already paid at the point of expenditure. So we are asking, why is it that now KRA is coming again and it's deducting almost 700,000, and it's money that you have already spent?
That's a lot of money. And of course, SG, you're also compelling the SRC to give you the plenary allowance?
You see, what has been happening is this, that CRC, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, when they sat on 2013, let me take you back, because that's why I'm telling you that there is a mismatch between what people think an MCA is and what an MCA ought to be constitutionally. If you go to CRC 2013, they did sit down and they reviewed the remuneration and benefits, because this is part of benefit. And I'll give you this one, so that we argue on the same platform. 2013, a job evaluation was done. And then what normally happened is that a member of county assembly, after a sitting in the plenary, was supposed to be paid something. But now what the CRC has done, it has reduced the pay, it has reduced the mileage, and it has removed completely the sitting allowance, leaving a member of a county assembly with almost nothing. If you look at, I'll give you to read this, in an excess of powers conferred, that is Article 230, 4A, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission sat it twice. It sat on the 2013, 36 special sitting, and then it sat on the 25th November. And then what they did is that they came up with the mileage, the issue of mileage. Yeah. That particular time it was 109. Not considering that the inflation
109 per kilometer?
109.80 per kilometer. Okay. That AA rate. And then when you exceed 45 kilometers, you request to be paid more because now you are coming from far. Then it went on, that is the CRC one, it went on, that is 2013, and then gave the allowances, that is for the sitting allowance. Okay. And then gave the salaries for an MCA. By that particular time, the salary of an MCA was supposed to be 123,750. 123,750. I will give you the circular. 750. So, but there was an annual increment, annually, according to adjustment. So when you are getting to your 5th year, you will get 165,000. Get that one. Now, that of the speaker by that particular time, it was supposed to be 262,500. And then when that speaker is leaving office after 5 years, it was supposed to be 350. That was 2013. The mileage 109. Then the salary was that. You can have this one. Okay. You can have that one. Then when it came to 2017, the same Salaries and Remuneration Commission sat and decided to downgrade that one now. Then members went to court, and the 2013 one was reinstated. You can have that one. That is 2017. Now come to 2022. Because people are saying that you need to get the facts correct. 2022. This is now the Salaries and Remuneration, what it did. 3 weeks to the elections. Because this one is on the 27th July 2022. Remember, the election was on 2022. What they did, they downgraded the salary downwards. They brought the MCA salary at 86,625.
Okay. Is that the reason why MCAs are demanding for a salary increment?
No, not an increment. Listen first. Listen first. Listen first.
Okay.
So that you get the semantics right. Because what is now bringing the problem is semantics. Now, what happened is that they reduced the salary of the basic to 86. If you check there, it was 123. Now, after they did that,
750.
Yes. They reduced it to that particular, that is now 2022, that is 2013. They have reduced that salary. At the same breath, they increased that of both the deputy speaker and the speaker to 350.
Who are you petitioning, Chair? The national government, the treasury, or the governors?
Listen now, that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. Okay. So this is also the mileage. Have this one so that you can compare.
Right. I'll have these copies.
You have the copies.
I'll have these copies. Okay.
I will also give you, this is my pay slip. And I want you to zoom so that you see why we are complaining. And people should not be misguided that we are asking for a pay increase. We are asking for a pay.
You have so many big figures here.
Reinstatement. Have you gotten it? It's the first one. Look at this now, pay slip. I have given you that pay slip.
All right.
That pay slip for mine.
I'm privileged to have it.
And that one I have given you for free. You can also do for the viewers.
No.
It is mine.
It's so rare to get someone's pay slip. Even mine, you can.
No, it is mine. I have given you. You cannot be sued by anybody.
Okay.
If you look at that one,
this as of January 2023.
2023.
Okay.
And you look at the CRC circular, it is 86. You have gotten it there. If you look at the circular, it is there just the same. The house allowance of 45. Then after that, you get that the adjustment. The adjustment, if you look at the circular, as is 12,000, isn't it? For the speakers, it is twice. Look at for the speaker. It is 120, 130. The adjustment is more than that, the salary of the world. But the MCA.
Okay, because of time, SG, let me ask you a question, Chair.
Ask that question.
Aren't you people asking too much at a time when the country is reeling? The government cannot even pay its workers.
That is now misinformation. We are not asking for a pay rise. We are asking for a statement of 2013. If you look at inflation, 2013, that was the entry point of an MCA.
Okay.
How are you bringing it down for the MCA, and yet for the others, you are raising?
Okay.
Is it that
let me bring the chair.
Yes,
for the voice here. Chair, you're demanding too much at a time that even the country, the government says that they are not.
I will also give you this one.
I will have it. Thank you.
For another person,
are you
it is
asking too much? Why don't you wait
34.
until the government settles down before you make such kind of demands, Chair?
I don't think we are asking for much. One, it's what is happening at SRC is an illegality. According to the labor laws, there is no room for an employer, even at the worst, when financial or economic crisis. You are not allowed to downgrade a pay of an employee without, one, consulting them and also getting their consent. But what has SRC been doing? They normally wait at the point when everybody is busy with the election. That is the time they normally come and issue circulars. Like, for instance, the one that downgraded the MCAs pay from the 123 to 86 was done on 27th July when everybody was busy. So what we are saying is that let them reinstate because that is unfair, it's illegal, and it's also discriminatory in nature, because when you talk of hard economic time, where is the government getting money to double the pay for the cabinet administrative secretaries? MPs the other day also raised the same issue. They were hard. So we are saying, even we are yet to start demanding for a pay rise. We just want a reinstatement of what
I remember sometimes
paid.
last week in one of the local dailies, the SRC, should I say the government officials, said that the only discussion they can have, the reason why they are not able to readjust such kind of salary bands for the MCAs because of the academic entry level.
That's
what you need to understand, we have ministers, I almost use a bad word, but who don't have even better high school grades, but they are being paid almost $1 million. And who said MCAs are not educated? Personally, I'm an accountant by training. He was a high school teacher. So what is that? Academic qualification they are alluding to? If it's issues of academic qualification, we have them. And I don't know where she's referencing from, because recently is the National Assembly. They ruled out the issues of academic qualification. In the next election, we are going to have governors who will be voted who are not graduates.
Instead of looking for salary increment or even the restatement of the 2013 bargaining agreement, why don't you go for members of parliament position?
No. That will be an escape route.
Right.
And what we are pushing for today, I told you, it's not about us. We want to reinforce and to make sure that the foundation is correct, because even if today I decide to vie for the seat of an MP, the position of MCA is in the Constitution. It will always be there. And the way I want us to look at is that if the MCA is empowered, it means that the quality of oversight at the county assembly is also going to improve. So what does that mean? The mwananchi, the money that the government is giving to the counties for development, it means that if the oversight is correct, then the ordinary citizen is going to get what they deserve.
I'll treat that as your closing remarks. SG, in 30 seconds kindly.
You see, what we are saying is simple. Job evaluation was done in 2013. It was done based on institution. It was institutional. That of the National Assembly is institutional. That of the Senate is institutional, and that of President is institutional. Therefore, what we needed to do is that we do not need to discriminate. If you look at that pay slip, and I had given you, the basic salary now, if you look and do all the deduction, an MCA is going home with 34, if at all you are a chair. You are going with 18 if you are not. Therefore, what we are arguing is how this member of County Assembly who is in close contact with Mwananchi, and I told you that when civic education is being done, is not given money. When public participation is being done, is not given money. When this member is doing his work, is not given money. The car that that person was given through a loan, the reimbursement, the government still holds 650. That's why we are saying.
Have you had any discussion with SRC? SG, have you had any discussion with the SRC?
You see, what we are saying is...
Have you had any discussion with the SRC?
We are under the devolution. Okay. Devolution is under the deputy president. And good that we have seen the deputy president. And the issue of our remuneration ought to be discussed through that. It is political. It is political.
We are running out of time. Gentlemen, yes. I'm told that you have a press conference.
Yes.
We'll cover that. I promise. We'll cover that. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. You know, the issue of money, I know, it's quite contentious, and there is nothing you can do about it. Only that you have to fight for your right.
Yes,
there is money.
And remember,
we are falling.
We do not have the public service. You know, Assembly, the National Assembly has what is called
Stanley Karanja. Stanley Karanja there, Naivasha East, member of
we have to fight for ourselves.
Stanley Karanja there speaking, member of County Assembly, Naivasha East, and also the Secretary General of Association of Members of County Assembly, as well as Francis Wambua, who is the Kinanie member of County Assembly and also the chair of Association of Member of County Assembly. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. I hope your word has fallen on some good ears.
Yes.
Let's take a break. GMK continues shortly after this. Good morning.